Truly, this is a new format for you. Oh, shit, he's recording.
There you go.
But whenever we throw a hand up at the bottom, we're not calling you off or telling you to stop talking. We're just communicating to one another that whoever is done speaking, we have something to say. Also, we record the video, we record the audio, so anything that you say and do can and will be used against you in a court of law.
You have the right to your attorney.
Yeah, if you can afford attorney, one will be appointed to you.
Cool. I picked Tony.
If you want to, I picked Tony. If you want to join in with the hand thing, you want to ask us questions, go right ahead.
Got it.
At any point, you can be like, hey, I have a question.
All right, Cub, let it rip, kid.
All right. What's up, guys? Welcome into episode 120 of the Missed Call Podcast. This is Cub Wood, and as always, I'm here with Sauce Sartori, and we are here with special reoccurring guest, Danielle O'Toole from Athletes Unlimited. Danielle, how you doing?
What's up? Good. How you guys?
So good. We're excited to have you back. As we were saying prior to the recording, we listened back to the last time we had you on, and we're excited to improve on what was, we'll call it a shaky performance.
It's cool. We'll do better. We'll be better.
There's so many different places that we could start. But I think the most important place to start would be with Athletes Unlimited and the experience that you had with it. We've talked to a couple of different athletes from this league, and the reactions have been overwhelmingly positive. And I'm interested to see what experiences you had that were different or the same to others.
I had a great time. I'm so glad that I decided to do it. I think that throughout the softball world, like, everybody knows everybody. It's just kind of how it is. We all know each other, but we don't know each other. I don't have your phone number. I don't know, your dog's name. Like, I don't know some personal stuff. So I think that it was really cool to kind of get to know everybody on a little bit of a deeper level. And they gave us a platform to do that with each other, especially, and we all talked about it. All of us athletes talked about it. If we had not been in COVID, we would not have felt as close to each other, or we would have stayed in a little clicky pods, and because that's how, you just have your friends and you stick to your friends instead of kind of branching out a little bit. So I definitely think that without being in COVID times, without being forced to kind of stay in the bubble or the shield, we would not have been as close. And I think that was the coolest part.
I keep forgetting that it's the shield and not the bubble.
Come on, guy.
Yeah, sorry.
Who was someone that you got close with that you didn't expect to befriend? Oh wow.
I would definitely say Jesse Warren was one of them. Tori and I played Fortnite together, and we played it before we left for Athletes Unlimited. It was an every night thing, and then we get to AU, and she was like, "Bring your PlayStation." I was like, "Duh." So we both brought it, and then we found out that Jesse brought hers. So we kind of invited Jessie, she became part of our group, and she bought me this sweatshirt. So yeah, I don't know. It's she's just one person who I thought I would have never, I had always seen her because she played for Pride, never really got to know her past that. Knew she was a great athlete. She's also a great person. So it's just, that's one person that it was easily click.
That's awesome. And that's, I don't think something that we've heard a take on yet is had it not been a worldwide pandemic, how that would have played out between the athletes. Mm-hmm. I'm curious though, we've heard a couple different stories inside the shield. I'm going to amend it. I'm going to start calling it the shield because that's what it is. But inside the shield, getting food wasn't always easy. Not to say that it wasn't provided, but it wasn't always easy.
So it was provided, depending on whether you were first game, second game, whether it was lunch or dinner, or if you were the very first game, right around the lunchtime, it would be breakfast. But you were in charge of your own food and stuff. So that was just making sure you have your delivery system set up. So they provided us hey, use Instacart or whatever you were using. Some people DoorDash, Uber Eats. you know how we are with the Starbucks thing. So it was really tough because you guys know that area. So right where they had the hotel at, it was like the Target and the Starbucks, and it's just like it's all right there, and you cannot go.
Right.
So, like, it's like that meme of you like just staring at your window, and it's like raining, and there's Target like right there, and you're just like staring at it, and you can't go. That's what it is.
What was your most frequent Uber Eats?
Probably Starbucks. Like I didn't really order food. My mom ordered me food. It was like every now and then I'd have a good game or something, and she'd be like, "Oh, check the lobby," and it's like my food's just waiting there. Mom's great. She actually bought 1 week for the whole team. She bought Cinnabon, so that was nice. But I would definitely say Starbucks. I picked up like one of my now favorite drinks there, so I feel super girly saying that.
It can be dangerous if you find a new favorite drink at Starbucks or even at Dunkin'. Like if you find a new favorite drink, it can be tough on the wallet.
What is
it? So for Dunkin' people, Tori Vidalis was talking about the blueberry coffee at Dunkin'.
Okay.
Apparently that is fire. I don't know, but she says it's amazing. Yeah, write that down.
I'm not going to write that down. I don't need coffee.
Okay. And then for I don't really drink coffee very often. If anything, I order a coffee and I drink half of it because my heart is about to explode. So I don't drink coffee very often, but for my Starbucks drink, it's iced chai with vanilla cold foam. And then if I want the sugary aspect, you add like a pump of like cinnamon dulces,
Yeah, no, I know. Oh, trust me. I know.
You always get light ice though, because they'll stack that thing and you'll get like this much drink. So light ice and it's all good.
Thule teaching us how to game the system.
We'll call it Thule.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That drink is now the Thule.
Hey, if that takes off, credit here. Let's do it.
Well, you've heard about like Michael Jordan had a signature meal, and now Travis Scott has a signature meal. I think is it Bad Bunny that's getting a signature meal at McDonald's?
I think it's Balvin.
Oh, J Balvin. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, now there's the Thule at Starbucks. Go out and get it.
You'll be competing with Charli D'Amelio over at Dunkin'.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she doesn't know who that is because she doesn't use TikTok.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh.
I know who that is. She's 15.
She's very successful. That was the only point.
I'm aware. I just can't believe she's 15 or 16 or whatever she is.
Well, if you think about it, I'm sure you were a fan of Justin Bieber at one point in your life. He was 15 and very successful.
Younger than 15. I was a super fan of Justin Bieber.
Were you really?
Oh my God. Okay, my room at home I used to get all the magazines I could. I would just buy everything, like teen, whatever.
Yep.
I would cut out, okay, I sound like a nutcase, but basically every boy, Justin Bieber, because Jonas Brothers were really hot too, Zac Efron. I reached the end of my high school career when One Direction started to kind of like come into the picture. So a lot of it was Justin Bieber. I would spend hours with my scissors and my magazines and find the perfect place on my collage wall. My entire wall, like boom, 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 Justin Bieber, and just, it was insane.
What she's not telling us is that the wall in front of her is the wall that she put the collages on. She brought it with her to LA.
It was honestly, and you know how some of the magazines, they do like a poster inside the paper. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So you like
a centerfold
out. So, and then just large Justin Bieber. And then I had a pillow. My dad got me a backpack. He got me the toothbrush that sings. So when it was done, I knew that it was done. Like to brush my teeth was done. But when Justin Bieber was done singing, I was okay. So for my friend's 16th birthday, we went to Universal City Walk on like some like shuttle bus that her parents got her. And I was dying to go. Like I was super excited because Justin Bieber had just filmed Baby like a year back or maybe 2 years back. And he was in the bowling alley and he like touched over the like one of the I was super excited to go because I was like, I want to go touch it. I was a psycho. I loved it.
Well, Cub, maybe you were correct in calling Thule the Ted Bundy of athletes.
Oh, no. Oh, I don't want that.
You have to give the backstory now.
Well, what did we say? What did we say prior to recording?
That she has a lot of different profile pictures.
Oh yeah. The different profile pictures when we were scrolling through your whatever biographies the schools you've been to have, or the different leagues that you've played for. Each picture is very different. So Cub referenced Thule as the Ted Bundy of athletes, but we won't market you as such. It'll be an inside joke.
Great.
That'd be OJ. Sorry.
That's almost worse.
No, I'm saying OJ would be Ted Bundy.
Okay.
Hold on, OJ's worse than Ted Bundy?
No.
Publicity-wise, maybe.
You might be right, because there's like a romanticism over serial killers in America. So you might be right in terms of publicity. Nobody likes OJ except for me, and everybody loves Ted Bundy except for.
You guys watched the movie?
Yeah, I hated it.
The one with Efron.
Well, both the Ted Bundy movie and then the OJ movie with, oh God, what's his name?
Radio. What's his name? The FX thing.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah, Cuba.
Yeah. Did you guys watch that? That was intense.
I watched the Efron movie and I hated it.
Really?
I didn't.
Did you watch I watched the Ted Bundy documentary first before I watched the movie.
Yeah, I watched the tapes 3 times over, and then I watched the movie, and I was utterly disgusted that the movie was about Ted Bundy's girlfriend. I wanted it to be Ted Bundy, and nobody died until the very end, where he's like, yeah, I killed somebody. And then he shows the knife.
I think they were just probably trying to put a little bit more personal aspect to it.
I was just chilling because Zac Efron was in the movie.
Yeah, I watched it because he did a great job, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was there for. His acting prowess is just top notch.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Zac Efron is the High School Musical sweetheart right there.
100%. So when we bring up the different bios, the different bio pages that you have on like I said, whether it's a school or different leagues that you've played in, one thing that I noticed that comes up, a common theme, is that it's one of your things that you say is you want to help the younger generations achieve goals and become better people.
Yep.
Now I know that you have your company where you are a coach and you teach the younger generations of softball players. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how you are impacting that younger generation.
I think so. A lot of the time I see kids every week. I have a certain amount of kids that I see, but some of them I get a really a little bit more personal relationship if I spend a little bit longer with them. So I feel like I have an impact in 2 ways. One way is when I get a little bit more personal with them, they see a side of me that not a lot of people see. I mean, even you guys have seen a little bit of me that they're calling me home. Even you guys have seen a side of me that most people don't see. But they know that I've struggled, or they know that I've been through the same thing. They know that I have changed throughout the years as a person, and like, this is your goal. Your goal is to be a good person. And Mike Kendria taught me that. So I just kind of want to channel that into my kids. The other side of this is people who don't get to see me, who only see me on TV. They don't really have a reaction to me, but they see me as a Mexican-American athlete. I actually got a message last week on Twitter saying that they were super grateful that their daughter had somebody to look at, because I'm not white. Like, I look like her. I have dark hair. I have dark eyebrows. You know, myself as well as my teammates, our complexion is a little darker. Like, I'm very light, but like, I just think that for her to look at me like that is just, it's incredible that she feels like she's being seen. And that goes to speak for the Black athletes as well. Like, for those little girls to look at AJ Andrews, Kelsey Stewart, Michelle Moultrie, like, that's just big time. So I think that for us to have multiple ways that we're impacting the game and just making the younger generation better than we are, it's priceless.
Yeah, I and that's tremendous. And that story that you tell about, you know, that young girl having somebody to look up to who looks like them. I think that's the importance of promoting women's sports in general, because, you know, I think it's kind of sad that, you know, maybe a young girl who wants to play softball professionally might not have the access to the NPF, but she has access to the MLB. And so she grows up idolizing pick your player instead of growing up idolizing Danielle O'Toole or whoever it might be.
Yep. Agreed.
And so it's tremendously important that you are that role model.
Yep. I think this is, especially Athletes Unlimited, what they gave us, the kind of platform they gave us. So many people saw us, and it just kind of opened the doors for a lot of people who didn't even know that we existed. So it's like when sometimes I meet young, like young teams, like 10U, 12U, with coaches, and then they know who I am, but they don't know about the NPF. They don't know about AU. I'm like, if you're teaching these young kids who are going to turn into young ladies, you're going to turn into young women and then adult women, like you need to teach them that we are here and there is the spot for them later. Like this is an option for them later. So it's just kind of our duty to kind of get it out there and make sure that they can do what we're doing for better money.
Before we get too far away from it, I want you to be able to plug your website, anything else that you would like to regarding it. So I guess this is your open forum to talk freely about what you do.
I have a website. I do in-person lessons in 3 different spots. I do LA, San Diego, and then the Inland Empire. And then I've always told people, I said, I know that especially somewhere, I live in East LA, so it's some of it is a little bit more low income. But I've always told people, like, I feel like everyone should have the opportunity to be better, and some people can't afford lessons every week, or, you know, like I've always told people, like, let's talk about it. Let's come up with a plan. I want to be able to give her whatever she needs. So I'm not a stickler on the price or anything like that. I just want her to have access. So that's kind of the one of the big things for me. But yeah, I give lessons all the time. I do in person, I do over Zoom. I just do, sometimes if you just want me to look at video, I'll look at video. I kind of do everything and just kind of open it up. So
I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome that you do that, because I saw in an interview that you said you'll work with people because you come from a family of 5 and you're the oldest, and it's hard. Like some of those lessons are expensive as hell. Like I'm shocked that my parents paid for a lot of the ones they did for baseball. They're insane.
Exactly.
And some of them are just camps.
Yep. It's like camps, lessons, and like some people are like, let's do it every week, let's do it every 2 weeks. And then some people charge more because they think they can, but I just don't. I've always kept it at my thing is $40 for a lesson, and I don't cut off the time either. If you and I go over, I'm going to finish what we're teaching you. I'm not going to cut you off. So that's how I was raised, is just, this is the right way for me. And I don't charge more than what I need to, because I want you to be able to, like, I want it to be affordable. So I'm not going to charge $80 a lesson because of who I am or because of my name or whatever. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like,
right. Well, a lot of times with those camps and even like showcases and things like that, it's just exploitation and kind of capitalizing on the fact that they know that you need these lessons. And so we're going to charge you whatever. Yep. And parents 9 times out of 10 are going to pay for it because they want their children to have those opportunities. So I think it's really, really awesome that you recognize that that kids just deserve access to sports and deserve good access to sports where they're going to be able to play correctly and learn ways to play a game where they're not going to get injured, right? Because I've learned even too, like as a kid, nobody ever really taught me how to throw a baseball correctly. My dad thinks he does, but my elbow kills me all the time now. You know, so even just little stuff like that, I think it's so important, and it's so awesome that you're doing those things.
Yeah.
Like, so going off that, Like the biggest thing with like those lessons are you don't even know if they're teaching your kids the right thing. Like a lot, like you see a lot of basketball clips where they're like, people will break it down and be like, this is BS. Like your kid looks stupid.
I had a pitching coach when I was younger who we paid money to, and thinking back on what he taught me, he didn't teach me. And it was basically like, hey, show up, throw the ball, and then go home. That was it. There wasn't really anything else to it, but we paid out the wazoo for him.
And he's highly respected in our area.
I do think that one, it depends on your area and like who you have access to. But I will say that sometimes I do get some kids who, and I always ask, I'm like, hey, did you have a pitching coach before? Are you new to this? Like, do I need to ease you into it, or do you understand how this works? And sometimes I get kids who have had pitching coaches before, and it's a little rough because I feel like I have to kind of take whatever's in their brain and just put it to the side and then show them, and again, pitching is I feel like pitching and hitting, there's so many different like philosophies, and there are literally people could write books on so many different things. So I'm not to say that my way is the right way, but I have seen that through like my own experience and like what I know from everybody else at my level, that there is a certain way to do things. And when I don't see that happening, I feel I hurt a little bit on the inside because the parents and the kid have been working so hard at this thing when I know that they could have been doing it the other way.
What's the worst case you've seen where you're like, oh my God, who taught you that?
This is tough because I don't want to like single anybody out or like.
We don't have to mention names. It could literally just be like somebody taught this person to do this and.
Okay, I'll say it because I know that it's pretty general. I have had a few kids, so it's not just one case. And then Nairi White, do you guys know who that is?
I'm unfamiliar.
She'd be a great guest on here, by the way. Nairi White, she is Coach Mike White's daughter. She played for New Zealand. She's a great pitcher. She gives a lot of great tips on her Twitter. She started brick wall softball. She's very knowledgeable. Her softball IQ, like I feel like her and I could have like sit in a room and have a conversation for hours because like just like this.
Sounds like a podcast to me.
I seriously would love it if you guys could hook that up. That'd be great. But
we'll try.
She mentioned it, and I was like, oh my God, somebody said it. It's called Hello Elbow. So when you go to snap the ball, normally it's this way. It's like, why are we teaching kids that way still? That's wrong. Like, and I'm just going to say it, it's wrong. You see Kat Osterman, right? When she pitches the ball, she comes straight up. There is a difference between coming like straight up and pulling versus pulling backwards. I don't know why people teach this. I don't know why it's done. And when I get kids that do it, it is a hard habit to break.
Really?
It is so hard to break. That's
just an overextension then. Coming all the way through this way would be an overextension.
Like just saying hello like this, it just doesn't make, it doesn't, you cut off the ball,
She's flustered. She hates that.
Look, I'm turning red. Yeah.
So on top of being a U athlete, on top of being coach to so many, you're also a part of the NPF. And in January, you were traded to the Cleveland Comets, not because the Bandits no longer wanted you there, but because there was a mutual respect between you and the front office there, and you had opportunities to train for the Olympic team in Cleveland.
Yep.
So prior to the world ending, did you get a chance to have a good footing there? Was there any opportunity to do anything with Olympics?
I mean, we as Team Mexico, we went and did our tour stuff, but in terms of the being able to, after like being traded and stuff, no, I have never been in a Comets uniform still. Like I'm a Bandit ride or die. So I love that place. So I did get traded into it. So it would be better for myself and the team to like be a little bit more cohesive chemistry wise. I'd rather pitch to other people than pitch to my own team. That doesn't help them.
She's going to have her Bandits jersey on underneath her Comets jersey and just rip it off.
But yeah, as Team Mexico, we've done some of our tour stuff, but in terms of Comets, I haven't done it yet.
So I think the last question that I'll ask about softball before we break down and really start having some fun here is you get an opportunity to play for an Olympic team.
I'm going to extend this answer as long as possible. Go ahead.
You get an opportunity to play for an Olympic team. And, you know, I think the quintessential question is like, what does that feel like? But like legitimately break it down. You said you want to extend the answer. Break it down and like talk about, you think about your journey through softball, all the work that you've put in, and now you have an opportunity to represent an entire nation.
Mexico softball has not been in any Olympic Games. Ever.
Wow.
So for us to be able to qualify and go, it'll be the first.
Go off, Queen.
It was an incredible thing to experience the qualifiers with that team. We are a special group, and even people at AU said that. Like, there was only 6 of us, so it was me, Amanda Sanchez, Sachelle Palacios, Tori Vidalis, Taylor McQuillan, and then Anissa Ortez. So there were 6 of us there, and people are just like, you guys are so fun, like just the chemistry. And at one point, 4 of us were on the same team. That was nice, just to kind of be with them again. So for us to be with that team, to qualify, the chemistry we have, and for us to be able to be the first, it's amazing. I know that I even asked my grandma how her mom or dad would have felt like, or like the rest of our family, knowing that like I'm representing where they come from. And she said they would be super proud. So I think that feeling is, you can't really describe it. But in personal terms of going to the Olympics, it's been something I've been thinking about for, how old am I, 26? So I've been thinking about since I was 14. Probably younger if I'm talking about what I've been doing. I've been pitching since I was like 8. So I've been doing this for a long time, and for that to kind of come together all at the end here and just be able to compete at the highest level and show the world that like softball is amazing and it shouldn't have been taken out. It's a very unreal feeling.
That's awesome.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's like existential.
Well, I don't know if it means much to you, but we're proud of you. And it's really cool to say that we have an Olympic athlete on our podcast.
Yeah, thanks. Means a lot.
Sounds like it.
It hits me hard just because I do know that I don't think I've truly like grasped what it means, because this whole thing was pushed back, and then we're working another year, which is fine. We're working another year. That means everybody's going to be 1 year better, but which is crazy, first off. But 1 year better, everybody's itching because we're all feeling that same thing. People have been asking us this question for 1 year longer than it should have been. So it's going to be intense. But I really don't think I truly have grasped what it means until I get there.
Yeah, I would imagine to try to understand that moment would be impossible until you're there. Like, it's one of those things, you have to have that experience in order to know what it's like.
Yeah, and I think that Danielle Lowry is somebody that I've really looked at a lot, because she's been there. So for her to put in the work to have kids come back and still be as motivated, that means that experience is about to be as legit as it is in my mind. So it's kind of just a waiting game now. Just kind of work hard, sit here and wait for that feeling to come, because it's big in my head, and I don't want to like hype it up too much because I'm going to get all nervous. I'm such a nervous person.
I'm willing to bet that you're underhyping it, and that it's going to be just so much better than you could have ever imagined. You know, I think about like the Olympic Village and like that whole experience, and I'm always I'm kind of I want to pick the right words because I want this to be able to be posted somewhere. I think of myself as a swag hoarder, right? So like if you're handing out all the Team Mexico swag, I want all of it. Yeah. There was a word I was going to use, but I didn't because we've grown.
This guy.
Yeah, no. So we went to Peru for the Olympic, the like the Pan American Games.
Yeah.
So that always happens before the Olympics start. We did not play well. I think we were just kind of, there was some weird stuff going on team-wise, so we didn't play well. But if the Olympics are anything like that experience, everybody's staying in the same area. It's called El Comedor, but it's like the cafeteria, basically.
I'm a frequent of that.
You walk in there and there's just like I can't even like describe to you, like Canada, USA, Puerto Rico, Brazil, like there's just like Peru, like there's just teams everywhere, and it's like 2,000 people in one little spot. It wasn't little, but like one just like spot, and there's laundry over here, and then they got like taco trucks and on the outside of it, and there's like a mini market, and it's just like, and they had like a ping pong and like a gym, and it's just like a little community. So if it's anything like that experience, which I'm sure it'll be more, wow.
Now, when you sit down in like the cafeteria area,
Mm-hmm.
and all the teams are sitting eating together, is it kind of cliquey like high school? Like, are there like the popular table and so on and so forth?
I didn't notice, no, because like, you know, you sit with your team because your team like has like one like eating time. So like once everybody's available, hey, we're going, and then everybody goes. So I just know I walked in and like there were just teams just kind of like everywhere, and even our own. So like Mexico, they had, I forget like what sports were there. I actually knew somebody that I went to school with in Arizona. He's a runner, so, and dude's good. But yeah, it's just queer, just like seeing so many people. I don't think it's cliquey. I just think like you kind of stay with your team. But
right. Well, I was saying that in hopes to set up the next question, which is a recent tweet you had involving your younger brother being stuck in a Zoom room with a girl got me thinking.
Yeah.
What middle school memory makes you lose sleep at night?
Wow.
Because this is something that, like, for me, it'll happen maybe once every 2 weeks where I'm like, oh, why did you do that? It was a decade ago, but I'm like, oh my God.
I honestly think about this all the time. I have a high school memory, but I refuse to share it. I'm trying to think. I just refuse to share it. I do have a younger.
I feel like now she has to.
No, I really can't. In middle school, so I have a bear that I still have it, but I don't like, I think it's under the bed. I don't have it out. But I got teased a little bit, and I'm like, why did I bring that to school? Because why did I do that? My parents bought me a bear, and I named it Duty Bear.
Okay.
And then I brought it to school. Don't know why I did that. It got tossed around a little bit. And then from then on, it just was like, where's your Duty Bear? Like, why did I do that?
Yeah, I could.
Yeah. Or I used to be such a athletic, I am athletic, but like just when I was younger, I was just very like grr about the sports. Like we'd bring out the tennis racket, I'd be like, yes, let's do it. Kickball, of course. Dodgeball, yes. Softball comes on, you're screwed. Like just all the sports. So then I used to get teased by this kid named Matthew, and he used to be like, oh, I'm such a girl, and like pretend to be me, but pretend to be girl me. And he would be like, I have hair on my chest, and like go like this. So I just think like he just would make fun of me. I got made fun of a lot, but he just made fun of me for being boyish. So I don't regret being boyish, but I think maybe I could have been a little less grr about things.
A little less grr. I've never.
My dad says all the time, I'm just rough with everything.
Okay, yeah, I've been described as not a soft person.
Yeah, I'm very like, when I pick stuff up, I like pick it up. Like I don't just like like I just don't do that. So.
Okay.
Another sport that you're really into is now fishing. How's that going?
Yeah. It's hard to fish out here in LA. There's nowhere to go.
The ocean?
Yeah, the ocean.
When we were in Rosemont, I honestly have a hard time with saltwater fishing.
Why?
I think I need to be taught or like taken out on a boat.
I
Because
got it, guy.
yeah, because it's really tough for me. I'm actually trying to get with Aubrey Monroe and her husband because he runs a charter out in Florida, and she reels in like groupers. So I'm down for that. Like if you can get me one of those, it's going on my wall. Like,
We'll take the whole room up.
yeah, it's fine.
it'll be like a beanbag, but it's
Yeah,
the grouper you caught.
Trademark that. That's a great idea. One of my lesson dads, he patents stuff. So
I'll hit him up. But the thing with saltwater fishing is once you experience it and then you go back to freshwater, you're like, this sucks. They just hit different. It's weird to describe.
I know. I really like the freshwater. It was really tough for me in Rosemont because the only place we could go was Lake Opeka. And that's all rocks. I lost 2 crankbaits there.
I don't know what that means.
You got to learn. You got to learn. You lose it and you learn.
So the crankbait is like it has the lip on the end, so it like dives down, and then there's a couple different ones. So I know. So you just kind of pull it in. Well, the first one got stuck because I like turned and I lost it. Second one got stuck because it was a diving one. So then it hit a rock and you're not allowed to get in that lake. I got in that lake and I pulled it out and then I lost it again.
Okay. So technically you lost 3 of these baits.
Crankbaits are expensive. I was not happy about that.
They're like $5.
I won't joke about it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a tough loss. He feels me.
Have you found your dream fish yet?
Like what I want to get?
Yeah, like if I have to catch this before I die.
Northern pike.
Ooh. I've caught a baby one, but that doesn't really count.
So it doesn't really count. So I was reading a book. I have a couple books here in my house, but I was reading about them. And what they do is like, this is like the bait and like, this is the fish. They go or it's this way. They go and like bite it. So like normally when you feel it, you like set the hook. You can't do that with a pike because they'll bite it. Like make sure like they got it, let go, and then they swallow it. So like you have to wait for the second one.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I'm just dying to get one, and they're huge.
Yeah, I hear they're a good fight as well.
Yeah, I've seen a few videos where I'm like, God, I'm like living vicariously through people.
Have you seen the muskie videos where they just go like in figure eights? Right by the boat. It's nuts. My dream fish is a peacock bass.
Yeah.
Those are wild. They're in Miami, so that's like an hour away from where my parents live. But like my dad's like, well, we don't know where to go. I'm like, we'll find a guy.
We'll find a guy. Like, if that's your thing, go get it.
I'll find Monster Mike down there.
I've seen, I forget what it's called, but it looks like a chandelier with spoons for the bass. Have you seen it?
The spinner?
It literally looks like, so like you attach it to the line and it looks like it's got one thing here and then it attaches off multiple.
Oh, it's like the school of minnows.
Yeah. Oh, that looks so dope.
I thought that she was describing a fish that looked like that. I was like, a chandelier with spoons. Like, that doesn't sound like genetics to me.
That shiny little thing.
I realized as you were talking that you were describing the bait and not the
Guy doesn't
fish.
fish. Guy doesn't fish.
No, I'm not a big angler myself.
Guy's never experienced hog season.
But talking about animals, you have a very clear, I wouldn't say addiction, but a calling to
caring.
Make sure that yeah, I see. That's a cat. Is that a cat post in the back?
I'm getting them a new one.
Is this the same cat that ruined your comforter?
One of them, yeah. I have 3 here.
Oh, you have 3. Okay. Well, the question that I was going to ask, being that you were such an animal lover, an animal collector, have you added to that collection since the last time that we talked to you?
Yes, at the time I only had my cat and my dog, I believe.
Okay.
So then I added 2 more. And then I think I don't know if I talked to you guys if I had my leopard geckos.
What I think you said you wanted to get more reptiles the last time that we talked to you.
Maybe I had my turtles then.
What's the
It's
turtle's name?
possible.
What's the turtle's name?
I had Willard. I don't know if I ever named the other one.
It sounds
Willard was
familiar.
special.
I know for sure we talked about the fact that you wanted a snake, but you weren't sure if your then fiance, now husband, would be okay with having one.
He
You
won't.
don't want one?
No, I do want one. He won't. We don't have a garage because we live in an apartment. We used to live in a house where I had a garage, and even then it was like, so maybe in the next couple years when we get a bigger house and put the garage, like a garage is detached, so he's not like afraid of it. He just really does not like snakes. So if I did get one, it would have to stay in the garage.
And then you had the rat, Sweet Pea.
Oh,
Yeah.
she was so cute. She was so cute. Yeah, but that was before in college. But no, I think I had my geckos. I had to get rid of them. So I sold them, and then I got my 2 cats right after we got back from our honeymoon.
Okay. That was like the wedding gift. He was like, I guess you can have 2 cats.
No,
Oh, no.
no, I got them. Our wedding gift to him, his wedding gift to me was a Chris Brown concert.
Ooh.
That's dope.
I love Chris Brown, but the cat, we actually went to Belize, and on an island there was there's a shelter for like stray animals, and this kitten was this big. It's just like this, and I was like, I want to take it home. It needs me. I need him. Like, this thing looked like a little bit mangy. I thought, wow, it was like a Southwest. I fought with Southwest on the phone for like 2 days in a row because they would not allow me to take an animal on an international flight, which I thought was insane, and they needed to change their policy.
And I'm sure that they made the amendment, and it's now the Danielle O'Toole amendment.
If they did, that would be great. I know that it was tough because I fought, and you can't do it. So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to get him when we get back home. So we went back home. I for a little bit in like October, like 5th or 7th or something. I came home with 2 new kittens.
So would the snake be a pet that you've been pestering your husband about getting?
No, I haven't been pestering him about it. He doesn't like snakes so much that he loves Kobe Bryant. Like, I love Kobe, but that man loves Kobe. And we've been both thinking about getting like a Mamba tattoo. Well, Mamba's the snake.
Just get a black mamba.
He's like, I'm not getting a snake. You're not getting a snake. Like, we're going to figure out another way to get Kobe Bryant somewhere that doesn't involve a snake. Like, he loves Kobe Bryant, but that's how much he hates snakes.
Crazy.
That's tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
So one of the last things I want to bring up is you show incredible willpower in the fact that you have not yet downloaded TikTok to your phone.
Mm-mm.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I'm
it's not even a what are you doing thing. It's a I'm proud of you. Congratulations.
TikTok. All right, I'll have to tell you guys something.
Okay.
I downloaded it. Hold on, but I don't go on it. I don't use it. I used it once because I wanted to make a video, and I actually posted it on my Instagram story.
Oh, the one with your husband.
Yes. I made that one. That's the only time I've used TikTok or went on it. I don't really go. I see the TikTok videos on Instagram, so why would I need a TikTok?
Thanks, Jordan.
Second, when I hear people, including my friends, say, I've been in bed all day because I got stuck. The vortex. I can't get stuck. I can't be doing that. I can't sit on the couch for 2 hours, 5 hours, 7 hours, and just look through stuff, even though some of it, from what I've heard, is helpful, like tips for this or tips for that. It's not just like stupid dances or whatever. I was at one of my lessons, and a team shows up to the right of me, and I think they're probably like 10 or 11, and all of them are like, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I won't go on it. So I downloaded it for one video to make it, because I had asked him for like a week to make that video, and just waited for him to find the time. But I downloaded it for that and that reason only. I have not been on it.
I'm very curious to know what side of TikTok Thule would go to. Definitely animals, like we'd have that in common. But I'm curious, like what other parts you'd be stuck in, because it's hard to get out once you get into a certain side.
You really have to work to fix your algorithm.
Yeah. Oh God, I'd probably say like house decor, cactus, like succulent,
cactus TikTok.
Like obviously the cats, the dogs, the animal part of it. I'm trying to think what else I really, really enjoy.
Kobe.
Yeah. It's tough because Kobe is basketball, and I don't really like basketball that much. I like Kobe.
Got it.
Just the mentality.
Yeah. I would honestly say maybe just like people come up with like random like tips for like stuff. So maybe that, I don't really know.
I downloaded it for the crazy people. And then and I had my algorithm so good. It was great. And then a couple of months ago, they made everybody make an account. For the longest time, I had no account. I was just there.
Yeah.
And then they made everybody make an account, and that's where I pieced out. But I downloaded, I actually logged in on my girlfriend's account, and her algorithm was not so good. Not great. Lots of TikTok, lots of makeup tutorials on TikTok. That's what I was seeing a lot of.
See, maybe I don't know. Maybe that would be it. I'm looking right now. Like obviously, I just pulled up TikTok, and what's her face is on there. But I have. Best friend. See, I have 0 following, 0 follow. Like this is what mine looks like. I don't use it.
Oh, you're famous.
I use it for the one video and one video only. And you can't even see that on my profile because all of it's private because I just don't use it.
But I remember.
I'm astounded by your bravery to not download TikTok.
It's Vine.
It's kind of better. It's kind of better.
You know what? I used to sit on Vine a lot. I thought it was funny. I'm sure you think it's better, but I wouldn't know because I don't use TikTok.
I'm a Vine guy through and through. I still think Vine's better. The consumability of it, where it was like 6 seconds and you're out, was great. These are a minute, and some people are like, hey, here's a part 2. You're like,
yeah,
you can't get it all in one.
I don't know if this guy makes it on Reels or TikTok, but his name is Lonnie Martz. It's this guy right here.
Okay.
He makes videos, and my husband doesn't think it's funny, but me and my siblings think it's hilarious. He plays God in his videos, and he also plays an angel. He plays Gabriel and then Michael. And then it's creating the spider, creating the ant, creating the seahorses, creating the jellyfish. Like God's like, what did he post today? How the platypus was made. Let's see.
Mike, who warriors, we blend together, a duck and a beaver. Michael, it's a joke. I'm kidding. You're kidding.
Like, it's stuff like that. Like, it's stupid funny, but I think that's hilarious. I'd get stuck there. If that were
Instagram.
Yeah, but if it were TikTok, I'd get stuck there.
Yeah, I've lost a lot of time to TikTok. Last thing that I want to bring up, Cub, if you have anything else, we'll do that after this. But your sweatshirt is screaming at me. I have to bring up are you a Friends lover? Are you like a fan of the TV show, or is it just a sweatshirt?
What's bigger than a Friends lover?
Fanatic.
What's more than that?
Don't do this.
An addict.
This is where it gets. This is tough.
How many times around have you watched that show?
More than you can count. Yeah. Are you an Office guy?
I'm not.
No.
I wouldn't say that I am an Office guy, but I definitely think that The Office is much, much better than Friends. And in fact, this is probably where the fallout in whatever sort of relationship we have is going to happen, because I'm willing to go out on a limb and say that of all of the popular TV shows, Friends might be the worst of the popular TV shows.
How can you say that?
That's the best show of all time.
I just think it's really cheesy is the word that I'll use.
What part of it is cheesy? Because I'll sit here and fight you.
She will punch you through
I don't
the
have
screen.
any specific example, but it's the writing, right? So the writing to me is like, Ross walks in, he's like, have you guys seen my pants? Or like, have you guys seen my that's a better one. Have you guys seen my sunglasses? And they're on top of his head. And they're like, Ross, your sunglasses are on top of your head. And everybody in the audience is like, and that's like Friends to me.
What episode is that in?
I just said I don't have a specific example, but that's what the writing is like.
Happens.
No, that specific example did not. I made it up on the spot.
Well, you'd be about right then.
But that's what the writing feels like to me.
No. Mm-mm. You have to, it's tough because if you haven't seen past like the first season, it's tough because obviously the first season's very old. If you haven't made it past that, we're looking at character development. We're looking at the way that the stage moves, like people move apartments, like there's stuff that goes on that's just like, okay, my favorite is season 4, episode 12, with the one with the embryos.
Okay, I definitely haven't gotten that far.
How can you not though? That's like that's the one where they play the lightning round. That's where they play the trivia game.
Okay.
That is my favorite. And you see you just see all of the characters, and then half the time it's hilarious because Phoebe breaks character. Lisa Kudrow breaks character and she laughs half the time because she just can't hold it in. Like that to me is funny. Like that's like that's real life funny.
I respect your decision to like Friends. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I'm not a fan of the show at all. Say it again.
I'm saying you're wrong. My brother likes The Office. I will say that I think that my humor is maybe a little bit different than a lot of people's. Like, I don't think Parks and Rec is super funny.
I don't either.
My husband thinks it's hilarious. Parks and Rec, The Office, or what's the other one?
Seinfeld?
No, it's Parks and Rec-y, but I don't know. Anyways, like movies like Superbad or Pineapple Express, like that's just not very funny to me. But then like you go over to Friends and I'm just like, it's funny. I don't know.
Maybe it's the relatability.
That could be it.
I don't know. Maybe you just have a lot of moments that are really relatable to the TV show.
That might be it. People tell me all the time, it's like you're the mix between like Phoebe and Monica, but more Phoebe. So maybe there's that. I definitely think it's skewed a little bit. I don't want to say skewed towards the women, but I definitely think that it's like the women in the show are just a little bit, they take more of the TV time. So maybe it's that. Yeah.
That's what I got. I always have to have that conversation with people who are Friends fans just to see. I'm trying to figure out why people like it, and I'm learning. Maybe I'll give it a shot now.
If you just promise that you won't know anything because you haven't watched it, but if you watch season 4, episode 12, the one with the embryos, like I did, my bridal shower was based off of that episode.
Really?
She's a diehard.
My sister made a board and I had to like ask questions and like everybody who was there had to like answer them. Like it took a long time, but it got done.
It was worth it.
I had a great time, and yeah, I had a great time. But
seems to be all that matters.
Hey, I just want to say I'm not a Friends hater because no one respects me when I say Seinfeld's the greatest show of all time. So
I think that Seinfeld was Seinfeld was the time when what's his name?
Jerry?
No. Kelsey Grammer, who was doing Frasier.
Oh.
So both of those shows were kind of going on at the same time. So I think both of those shows gave the Friends the platform to be funny. You know what I mean? So Seinfeld's like, Friends was like godfathered in by Seinfeld. So I feel you.
No one respects it.
It's tough because nobody in our generation paid attention to it that much.
And it still hits. You still can relate to that stuff and just think of it as in today format. But whatever.
Yeah.
I digress.
Some people just won't watch it. Like my husband won't watch anything before 2000.
Interesting. There's some good cinema before 2000.
He loves the CGI. He loves the, I won't say he won't watch anything. He has watched some stuff, but if it's like doesn't have like the CGI in it or like the cool effects, it's like it doesn't catch his eye. So it's hard to like.
He's watching Jaws going, this is so fake. Oh my God.
He'll fall asleep. He falls asleep during movies.
Well, I mean, some of my favorite movies have to be Jurassic Park, and for their time, they were way ahead of what they were doing in cinema.
Super way ahead, yeah. But like he likes Big Hero 6. If we're talking like the animation movies, Big Hero 6, How to Train Your Dragon. Loves Game of Thrones because of like all of this stuff. But I can't. I mean, this is really old, but like one of my favorite Christmas movies is White Christmas. If you guys haven't seen that, it's very old.
Sounds familiar. I don't know that I can put face to name.
I think we've been together 6-7 years. And he's watched it, but has not watched the full movie, like total. We've had to like split it up because he just loses interest. The animation is poor. Like you can see like the prop in the background. Like it's just, yeah. Or like everything looks plastic, but it's great. It's a great movie. It's classic.
I'll put that on my list.
Yeah. My dad, there's a scene in there with the blue boa, and I won't tell you what it is, but my dad makes me and my sisters act that out every Christmas. Every Christmas.
Just dads doing dad stuff.
And you know who else does that? Aubrey Monroe.
I'm running out of space on my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just keep throwing out these fun facts.
I ran out of ink.
I have plenty.
You didn't have to write any notes down.
No. I remember it, but.
She wrote down "help me" a bunch of times during the process of this interview.
Yes. Why did I DM them? Why did I say, hey, when am I coming back on?
I know. I think this is fun. A good time.
Oh,
well, we appreciate that. Us interesting characters here at the Missed Call Podcast always appreciate anybody who reaches out, but especially when it's you, Danny O'Toole. And so thank you for coming on. This is Danielle O'Toole. Sorry. Is it never Danny?
Wait, you can cut this out of the recording. My dad's girlfriend's name is Danny.
Oh, okay. Well, we will go back and edit that. I've been tripping on Danielle O'Toole. The L's have been screwing me up today for whatever reason. So
just say Toole. It's fine.
Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah, it's easier for people. We'll get off the recording, and I'll tell you what happened yesterday.
Okay, I will. We'll edit this out, but let me wrap up real quick, and then we'll do that. Rewind in my brain.
Julie, thank you so much for coming on the Missed Call Podcast for the second time. You're our first female athlete that's a reoccurring guest. So there's a first. Congrats.
Second time's a charm.
Yeah.
Maybe third time. Maybe third time with other people.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you got to get her on. Trust.
Big trust. Big trust. Woo,
woo. Woo.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. This has been episode 120 of the Missed Call. Danielle O'Toole, thank you so much.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Toodles.